Hello and welcome to my video. Today I'm repacking the bearings on my old trailer. It's not a very complicated job, but it's messy, so be sure to have plenty of rags, and you should probably wear gloves if you ever want to have clean hands again. I am starting by removing the bearing buddy, or what could also be a dust cap, and then removing the cotter pin, followed by the castle nut. The castle nut should just be finger tight. Once the castle nut's off, that allows me to remove the thrust washer, which allows me then to remove the inner bearing and the hub assembly. You'll want to clean the spindle really good, especially in the back where the grease seal goes up against the spindle. I'm now using a small pry bar, putting it carefully under the seal and tapping down on the hub. I now have the hub assembly taken apart, and now it's time to inspect the raceways and make sure they look good. They can be replaced, but the hub assemblies are cheap enough that if they are damaged, it's best just to buy a new whole assembly. I wound up cleaning the bearings and the hub in gasoline. Everything else I had no effect on the grease. I now have the hub bearings very clean. Just take a glob of the grease and put it in your palm, and work the bearing into your hand, squeezing the grease out of the sides of the bearing, filling it completely with grease. I am also greasing the edge where the grease seal will go, and then I'm going to fill the hub with grease. I am putting the inner bearing back in and then putting the grease seal over it. I will tap it with a hammer and a block of wood, making sure it's seated properly, after I get all the grease off my hands. It doesn't take much to seat the seal, just a few taps, and just make sure it's flush with the hub. I'm now going to grease the spindle. There's a lot of rags and grease in this messy procedure. Now installing the hub, followed by the outer bearing, then the thrust washer and castle nut. You'll want to tighten the castle nut finger tight, and then move the hub in and out and then spin it a few times to make sure the bearings are seated and snug. Then loosen the castle nut to the first notch where the holes line up for the cotter pin. The hub should have a small amount of play that you can feel by pulling in and out. If the castle nut is too tight, the bearings will overheat and fail quickly. After you put a few miles on them, check the plate again and touch the hubs to see if they're hot. Now I'm putting the grease cap back on and cleaning up. Thanks for watching.